Hey, everybody, this is George Bush. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Somebody explain it?
Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch.
Saturday night is the loneliest night in the week.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the heavy metal happy hour with the one and only Fishman.
I know that, dude.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Everyone get out!
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison from the President Steve Show, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Get infected like you would with a cheap hooker.
While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected. Hey, buddy. Raw. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is a place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Your favorite time of the week to take it deep here on toxicradio.net. 856-485-9565 to be part of the show. Call in, and that's THEEGODFREY, The Godfrey. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, you can watch the live video stream on Take It Deep with The Godfrey, which is on Facebook, as I mentioned. Share it. Sharing is caring. And you can catch all of our past episodes on the Toxic Radio app, on iTunes and Android. And on top of that, you'll catch all the past episodes, including all of our other great content that we have on the station here at toxicradio.net. So, lots of options here. Tons of options. So, fun weekend. Was at a press conference. That was fun. That was interesting. Got to visit AC in the COVID state that it's in. Seemed a little, I don't know, milder, if you will. I pulled up to the Showboat, and they weren't doing valet, right? But it was a win, because since they weren't doing valet, the valet guys didn't give a fuck about the front. I literally parked my car in front of the Showboat overnight, or for the whole time. No one bothered me. Did you know that, Mike?
You gotta be kidding me. You did not do
Yep.
that.
And they were like, I was like, yeah, I'm here for a press conference. And they were like, yeah, you could just leave it right there. I'm like, all right, I'll be out later.
That is, in the most craziest sense of the word, insane that you were able to do that, and I'm a little bit jealous. Like, what the fuck, literally?
They respect the Mustang. That's what it was. They respected it. They were like, you know what, that's worthy of front placement.
Right.
Know? The Corolla, they might not give the same respect. They're like, you know, take that shit around back. Take that around back. Get it out of sight.
I had to pay to park in the garage.
I didn't pay a penny.
And had to, like, go up and down flights of stairs to carry equipment down. And you're pretty much VIP parking. when nobody else knows it.
Yeah, I rolled up and threw my keys at a random guy and then walked in. No, I didn't do that, but I kept my keys. I was like,
I'm appalled, jealous, and angry at the same time.
And the funny thing is, the guy came up to me to ask me, and I said, "Hold on a second, I'm doing something. I'll get right back with you."
Oh, Jesus Christ! You are a horrible, horrible human being. You know that?
Well, I mean, he just let it there, and I thought he was like waiting to park my car, and he wasn't. I was like, "All right, this is weird." I'm prepared to tip the guy, take care of him, whatever I need to do.
Right.
And because I'll save a little bit by getting it validated, but I'm like, well, where's it at? I pull in, one lot's closed, so I'm like, oh, now I have to go on a fucking scavenger hunt where to park. That's great. There's nobody here, but there's fucking tons of empty lots, and they're all closed, and they got to put, it's got to be a goddamn Easter egg hunt to find the one fucking lot that you could park in when there's nobody there.
Jesus
What's
Christ.
going on?
Well, I mean, you did
there's
something.
The closest lot to the whole hotel. You think you'd be able to go there?
It's one of those deals where you did something that probably nobody else thinks to do and got away with it. So kudos to you.
Yep, he was because I usually valet. And they had a valet sign. He's like, "Yeah, we can't valet now." I'm like, "No problem." And the funny thing is, I went back out later on. I was like, "Oh yeah, is my car good here?" He's like, "Yeah, just move it up a little." So he made me put it in a more convenient spot up front. And they were like, "Yeah, just put it up here." The guy
Jesus
directed me.
Christ.
He's like, "Come on."
You are one of a kind there. You are one of a kind, sir.
Yeah. You got to have a feel for how far you could push things sometimes. And I had a really good feel for that one. And I felt like the guy was like, I'm getting a paycheck. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Let someone else worry about this. And that was that. I was like, all right. He's like, they're here. Someone's here at the showboat. I question, even when there wasn't a pandemic, were people still showing up at the showboat? That's a legit question sometimes. Compared to like Borgata. Nice. Showboat's not bad. I'm not impressed by casinos because I lived in Las Vegas when I was a kid with my dad for a little bit, so it's kind of like not impressive. And they look nice, they sound nice, but they're made to like just extrapolate you from the outside world and just get.
Well, yeah, that's why there's no windows. You can't see what time of day or night it is.
I think they pump in oxygen at casinos too for you.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Pump in some of that sticky icky for us too.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would give them a distinct advantage in the betting world. That's like, they'll serve you drinks at some places in Vegas 24 hours a day. Like, oh, would you like a rum and coke at 4:45 in the a.m.? What they're really saying is maybe we could fuck his game up if he's on a winning streak and make it lessen his favor to win, even because. Almost every game in a casino is not no. They're not going to have the game.
They don't make the money they make by making it go in your favor.
Right. The odds will be against you.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a buddy one time, I was in Vegas, and he was drunk as a skunk. He was playing at the handicap table. It wasn't handicap. It was the lower blackjack table. By himself with the blackjack dealer, and he was on a winning streak like I've never seen before. Belligerent as fun. I had to pull him away. Thankfully, I pulled him away, and he was up like 2,500. So I took about 500 off of him. He doesn't know that. But that was a care fee.
Yeah, I mean you gotta do the care fee.
I was like, tip me. He was like, yeah. He's like, how much did I win? I was like, 2,000. No, but yeah, the casinos are tricky like that. I'm like, oh yeah, well, or if they give you a drink, it's like a shitty drink, or it's PA's a little bit more Quakerish, pun intended. Like they're gonna stop serving at a certain point. Vegas. You can drink 24 hours if you want to.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't stop. Just got to find a cocktail girl. No, won't rip the tray. Yeah. They're not stopping.
Love the cocktail girls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they have you would be all about the peen hour. They have a peen hour in Vegas.
A what?
Yeah.
A penile.
Peen. You said you're all about the peen.
Right, but they have a penile?
Yeah, it's the Pointy Hotel out there.
Oh.
The Excalibur, yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a sword fight.
I'm not down with the sword fight.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I heard on Reddit that you are. There's a whole subreddit that calls.
You heard or you read?
There's a whole subreddit called Toxic Mike Sword Fight. I don't know if you knew that or not. Guys, check that out. It's entertaining.
Jackass.
It's totally entertaining.
Jackass.
Yep. But I thought my auxiliary was up and it just died. I'm going to blame perfection. No. So I watched a little bit of the vice presidential debate. I really didn't care to watch it, to be honest. I had nothing invested. I'm pretty much over the whole thing at this point and just can't wait till after November 3rd. But there was a serious thing that happened that we all have to talk about. There was a whole 3 minutes where a fly was on Mike Pence's head and he didn't notice. Or he knew and he was just playing it off.
A fly, people. A fly.
Flygate.
Flygate. They're actually calling it was trending on Twitter. Number 3 on Twitter across the entire globe. I think at least the entire U.S. It was trending on Twitter. Flygate. And I brought up a picture here, and as you can see, if I had the ability to, I would circle the fly in question, but it is on the screen right now. Just perched upon.
Do you think he felt it?
His head. I think he has so much hair product in his hair.
He doesn't have a lot of hair, though.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if he needs that. That seems like
I think he probably
a nice, regular Caucasian comb over.
He had to have
not a comb over, like a part. He's got a full head of hair, like a part, where it's just like
he's got that Ron Popeil, was it, or somebody who had the spray on hair. He's probably sprayed it on to make sure that it's more full and voluptuous looking.
So you think Mike Pence is using Aquanet?
Yes. Well, not Aquanet. He's doing the spray on hair, where you spray paint your scalp gray to make it look more full, and then a bunch of stuff on there, maybe Aquanet, just to keep it going. And I'm surprised the fly didn't get stuck in it.
He seems like the type of guy, if you brought to a party, the party, he would just make the party just dull right away. But hey guys, let's talk about your taxes. Did you do your taxes last year? What did you use? What program? He'd be one of those guys. That we're talking about fucking taxes in July. Great topic. So they put a Biden thing on.
So we did get another camera angle that did display the fact that the fly was a Biden-Harris supporter.
That fucking fly's probably Antifa.
It might be Antifa. I think he did start a fire in the back, but we didn't see that. And I think that this was the my most favorite picture.
How about the one with RGB where it says "I sent the fly"?
So I didn't see that one.
That was everywhere.
The reason why I like this one, Ruth Ginsburg. I saw that one. I did see that one, but I like this one. And for those that can't see what we're looking at, it's Biden sitting there, and he looks at a fold-out table. He looks like he was working with his smart water next to him. He looks like he just took a sip, and somebody very quickly ran up to him and said, "Joe, hold this." He has no idea what's happening. They took a picture and ran away.
First of all, I would feel the fly, but if I didn't feel the fly, why? He has a lot of AIDS. I mean, can someone help my man out, Mike Pence, and get the fucking fly off his head? 3 minutes, it's on there. Help him out. Help a guy out. Help him out.
Wait, let's not bypass what I just said. Joe looks like he has no idea what's going on and why he is holding a fly swatter. First off. Second off, that is the longest fly swatter I've ever seen with the smallest tip.
First of all, I have a awesome fly swatter. It is not even a fly swatter. It is a bug zapper in the shape of a tennis racket.
I've seen those ones before.
They're awesome. You swing it through the air, you take them out. I've gone to war with a couple flies, or there was a group of them, a gang of 5 of them in my home, and it almost looked like a live video game. All you're
who has actual fly swatters in their house?
I think you have. Yeah, does people sell fly swatters anymore?
There's a comment in the chat room and you know who you are who just put that up. I can't even put that up on the screen because that would be slander, sir, and we are not going to be brought up on slander.
He does not have AIDS.
Well, we can't confirm nor deny.
And I think he would beat AIDS like Magic Johnson if he had it. I'm just saying. I just think he's one of those guys, But
we can't confirm nor deny if he has it or if he doesn't.
Yeah, well, the fly swatter stuff can be fun. There should be a sport they should have did during COVID. It should have been tea towel fly swatting, where you have to you have a room full of house flies.
Yeah,
and you have so many hits to hit them out of the air with a tea towel. Would that be animal abuse?
I think it might. I think that the fact that you keep on hitting your friends in the ass with your electrical fly swatter is another issue.
I've never hit my friends in the ass with that. It doesn't work that way. No. Listen, badging a tennis racket, except it is wire that you have to hold a button down, and you have to hold it down while you hit the fly, and then you'll hear a zap. Like, zzz. I've actually smelled the fly cooking.
Oh yeah, I've actually have seen similar products to the one that you are describing.
Yeah, I got it at BJ's Wholesale.
Of course you did.
No pun intended. That doesn't stand for blow. I don't know what BJ stands for, but it's not blowjob.
What does it stand for?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, sir!
I swallowed it.
Is that what happens when you start talking politics?
I swallowed that fly. Well, this isn't politics. We're talking Haas flies. Totally different story. This could have been Bernie Sanders, and I'd be like, why are you going to let my man have 3 hours? It doesn't look like that, but similar. Have a fly on his head for 3 hours. Like, none of his assistants could do it. Maybe go through there. You know how your mom would shoo something away with couldn't anybody find like a random vanilla folder with taxes in it? I'm pretty sure Pence had his taxes on them, and you just kind of like shoo it away. I would have helped him out, even if I didn't like the guy. I'd be like, yo, there's a fly on you. You know what I mean? Especially in the age of lantern flies, because those fuckers are on everybody. They jump on you.
Oh, Jesus. This is going to be the show where just clearing the throat because of BJ's.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be all about.
I don't know why that drum roll played, but
we'll
go right to honorable mentions after that.
Once it gets
going,
oh, Jesus Christ, I'm hitting the wrong button.
We have an honorable mention,
yes?
but it's not honorable, but it is a mention that needs to be mentioned, which makes it honorable. But unfortunately, the great Eddie Van Halen has passed us, probably one of the best guitar players of all time. I would put him in my top 3. Some people might disagree with me.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a huge music buff, but I do understand the innovation that Eddie Van Halen brought to the table. And I was watching a special on him. Howard Stern was talking about him this morning because he was always a fan of Eddie Van Halen. He had him on the show. But did you know Eddie Van Halen was part Indonesian? He was biracial.
I did not know that.
His mother was Indonesian, yeah. Him and his brother, yeah. You know, so he was, I believe, a pretty big hero in the Asian American community, believe it or not. My friend pointed that out, who's a big Eddie Van Halen fan. And, you know, Eddie Van Halen, I learned was, you know, he was poor growing up, so he innovated a lot of different things because he had a really cheap guitar. You know? So I know the Fishman, once he gets back on air, you know, he's taking a couple weeks off. He's going to probably talk about that. But, you know, what a great town he was. I mean, I didn't get into Van Halen until later on, and it's a shame. Uncle Pat will be here later. He'll probably be able to tell us, once he stops in for the football picks. But he said to me that he saw them at least 3 times in concert, and I asked him, I said, were you Van Hagar or Van Roth? And he said David Lee Roth all the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100% David Lee Roth.
Yeah. I mean, better showman.
Way better showman.
Yeah. Shitty morning show.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he
after Howard Stern?
Yeah.
What a bunch of shoes to fill. I would have been like, so let me get this straight. I know you want me to fill a time slot for you, but you want me to come in after Howard Stern.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'd have been like, let me get back to you on that. And I would have said no.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
hurt
be the guy.
him, though.
You can't be the guy coming in after the guy. It's just it's horrible.
Yeah, so Eddie was 65. His wife Valerie Bertinelli, I believe her name is.
Yes.
Forever when I met you, she tweeted, "You gave me the one true light in my life." Our son Wolfgang. He has a son named Wolfgang. Why wouldn't he? He's a rock star, right? Mm-hmm. Though through all your challenging treatments for lung cancer, you kept your gorgeous spirit and that impish grin. I'm so grateful, Wolfie, and I were able to hold you in your last moments, and I will see you in your next life. I guarantee his son's going to be a musical virtuoso. It was already on that way anyway. It's a shame, 2020 just won't quit, and he was already fighting illness since he didn't. I don't think he was got by the Rona, so to speak. He was fighting, I believe, lung cancer, and so we were told in the last 72 hours, Eddie's ongoing health battle went massively downhill. Doctors discovered his lung cancer had moved to his brain, as well as other organs. As you know, Eddie had been battling cancer for well over a decade. So 10 years of battling cancer, that is a lot for the mightiest of the mightiest individual. Our sources say he's been in and out of the hospital over the past year, including last November for intestinal issues, and recently underwent a round of chemo. Last year, we reported Eddie was flying between, this is off of TMZ.com, by the way, was flying between the U.S. and Germany for 5 years to get radiation treatment. Though he was a heavy smoker for years, he believes he developed throat cancer from a metal guitar pick he used to frequently hold at his mouth more than 20 years ago. And that could be possible. I'm not going to dispute a man knowing his body.
Absolutely.
But another great one lost. The tally on 2020, and there was another guy that passed away the other day, and it was it's not as well known. I can't remember the song. It was iconic.
I brought this up on another show, and I usually don't like to take things that I've brought up or kind of spits.
By the way, Eddie Van Halen did the and continue on after this. He did the guitar work for the Michael Jackson song "Bad," I believe, right? Or "Beat It." No, it was "Beat It."
Okay. I don't normally like to take kind of bits that I took from another show and bring them over here, but I'm actually genuinely interested to hear your answer. I don't think we've talked about this on your show before. So Eddie Van Halen, a music icon. We've had Kobe Bryant, other celebrities I can't think of right now that have passed away this year and recently. So in your lifetime, you know, in today's age, as soon as somebody passes away, we know it right away. TMZ, Facebook, social media, all over the place. Which celebrity in your lifetime, or you could pick two, hit you the hardest and why?
That died?
Yeah.
Who? Man, I don't know if that's a tough one.
You want to hear my two, and then you can think about yours?
I know one. Yeah, tell me.
So my two, so I'm going to go with the second one, and then number one. The second one was Michael Jackson, and that was because growing up, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. I had the glove, the jacket, breakdancing, everything. So he was a huge influence on me as a child, which kind of sounds really weird. Not in that way. But as after him, number one was Robin Williams. Huge deal when he passed away. I literally was live on air when I saw it come up, and it just stopped me in my tracks so hard that it would have been like a family member had just died when I saw that he had passed away. So that's my number one is Robin Williams. I didn't think he was going to pass away as soon as he did. It was huge.
You know, I've never been one to, I guess this is a bad word, to get kind of involved in celebrity death like that, because I'm really cold. I'm like, they don't care about me, I don't care about them. However, Jerome Brown, when I was a kid, was pretty bad. I was upset about that, but it was, you know, from the sports world, talented guy on a really good Eagles defense, young, died in a car crash. You know, and I'm just trying to think of a couple. Maybe this is kind of weak, maybe, but Ryan Dunn passing away, kind of, you know.
Oh, that was huge. That was I wouldn't say that would be my top 5, maybe my top 10, but that was huge because growing up, especially in our age range.
Well, I wasn't upset about it. Paul Walker I put in the same category because this is why.
Good.
They were driving their car doing the thing they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, they crashed and died driving supercars. I mean, eesh, don't wish that on anybody.
Right.
But, you know, life is precious. It's not, you know, it's not deserved. I mean, it's not deserved. It's not guaranteed.
I think Ryan Dunn also hit home because it was right basically in our backyard. But no, where
I used to live at King of Prussia. They used to go to a bar.
Wasn't on the AC Expressway.
I'm not sure.
I forget exactly where it was, but I know that he was in Jersey driving home from AC, I believe, some bar.
I tell you one that hit me. I got it.
That was huge.
The number one that hit me was Anthony Bourdain.
Really? That's I get it. I hear you, but that's definitely a surprising. I'm surprised.
Well, it hit a lot of people. Well, for a couple reasons. One, my favorite band is Queens of the Stone Age. For those of you who don't know me, and they, little known fact is, they had a good relationship with Anthony Bourdain. They actually did a Palm Springs episode with him because that's where they're from, or the desert in California, so to speak. And they wrote a theme song for a show. They were the band that did the theme song for a show, and you know, I saw a lot of outpouring about it, and I think the reason why that one is because he touched people's lives in a way where, you know, one, you look at this guy and you think he's got the world by the balls. He gets to travel, eat all these foods, hang out with everybody, you know, and you see someone that you think should be happy from the outside, on the inside they're really not. And it just goes to show you that you don't know a battle someone's going through mentally behind the scenes. Personally, Robin Williams falls in the same category, and that hit me because I'm like, wow, this guy was young. He had the world by the young relatively to die that early the way he did. He was in his early 60s, I believe, very successful. So, people think money and success cure these things, and they don't. You cannot buy happiness. People can lie to you and say that. You might be able to make life more comfortable, but
less stress in terms of living and paying bills and all that kind of stuff. But
that one hit me because I found out about his show when it was already out for a while. Binge watched it, caught up. Then I was a avid watch it as soon as it came out. I was on the series, and it inspired me to travel. So the reason why that one probably hit me hard is, I think when people get upset is when, people like that may pass away that inspired them in certain avenues of life. And when I first found a show, I hadn't traveled yet. I haven't had my passport, which, Americans, we have to do a better job to get our passport.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. People in the chat room, if you want to let us know who your number one is, please do so. But, dude, like, Anthony Bourdain, Robin Williams, like, Chester Bennington, like, these guys, you think that...
Was that Linkin Park?
Yeah, wasn't that the guy? Am I saying that correctly? Is he the guy who killed himself?
I believe so, yeah.
Like, these guys...
Soundgarden.
Chris Cornell. These guys are guys that you think... Like, these guys aren't a Nirvana lead singer. Why am I forgetting his name? Kurt Cobain. These aren't Kurt Cobain, even though Kurt Cobain was a shock and are some people's number ones. But
should he have really been a shock? I mean, he had severe stomach problems. He was in pain all the time, they said.
But also, he projected that image of himself, of that depressed, he projected that image that it wasn't a shock to some of us who weren't, quote, Nirvana fans. These people were bringing up, they projected that image of living life to the fullest, of they chased their dreams and achieved them, of living the, quote, American dream, and made so many other people happy that when it comes to that, it's devastating because we all kind of strive for that, I think. We all personally...
Someone said in the chat, we can't say happiness without saying penis.
That's very true. Good point. I mean, we can't deny what you're saying.
That's
there.
A very stiff comment.
I mean, it's... But I think we see ourselves in them because we all strive to achieve that, thinking that that's where happiness lies.
I mean, true. Chadwick Boseman was a tough one too, because that guy had a lot of potential, but he, some of these guys don't want to be fawned over when they're sick and they want to go through their sickness by themselves. I think he was one of them. I think Freddie Mercury is like that. People, and I just kind of, but the Anthony Bourdain one hit me because it inspired me to do actual things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was shocking and stunning as well, but that was more of not life taking him, but just also, a shocking and tragic accident. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he was healthy, and it's horrible. And
we're getting some of the names like Chadwick. How do you say the names? Boseman. And it's going to be interesting once we hit the end of 2020, not only with the lives lost just by COVID, but the celebrity lives lost that were very sudden and out of nowhere. It's going to be an interesting look back.
2020 has zero chill right now.
I'm just wondering, the people that are having parties on New Year's Eve, just so happy to step over to the other side and hope that it makes a difference.
Yeah, 2021, baby. Can't wait to see you soon enough, and I can't wait to see 2020 get the fuck out of here. But other than that, not to be, be on the press, and that's our honorable mention of the week.
Yes.
And then we have and Flygate, of course.
Flygate.
Some say,
that upset me.
Some people say shit.
Flies are attracted to shit.
Yeah.
Flies, I'll get you. Flies are attracted to shit and decaying stuff.
Yeah. So, speaking of non-shit, but shit surrounding his show, is Joe Rogan, they're saying, is already a headache for Spotify. This article's a couple weeks old, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago. And, he made a couple mistakes. I knew there would be growing pains when he went to a place like Spotify because it was all on his own, and now you got people that want to, put their input in it, and, they want to shit in the spaghetti sauce, and do whatever the fuck they else want
But
to do.
people want the guy who's doing the awesome stuff and getting the crowd and getting. But then when they get him there and they say, we just want you to do what you do. Well, for a person to do what they do, they got to have everybody who's an executive off their back. But then once you get there, the executives, they're control freaks. They want to be involved. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just listen. You're not going to be. Oh, Steve Irwin was bad, but I mean, listen. I feel like Steve Irwin was gambling on life. I mean, let's put our head. Hey, look at this croc, crikey! Let me put my head in his mouth, and then of all things, he's taken out by is a fucking stingray, and they could be big. Don't get me wrong, but a stingray took him the fuck out. I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
That was a hit. That was a hit. That was a hit by the Animal Kingdom. He didn't pay up someone.
Yeah.
But back to Rogan. Irwin was a good one. Poor bastard.
Yeah. His kids are really just taking that legacy and just running with it full steam. And they just showed a picture of his son with an alligator next to a picture of his dad with an alligator. I'm like, all right, part 2.
Yeah. So.
Oh, my God.
I can't stop clearing my throat, guys. I'm sorry.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Here we go. One more time. Let's get here. Sing a song for him while I drink some water.
How's that WAP song go?
Wet ass pussy. Quiet your dildo down. So, yeah, the Joe Rogan thing. So apparently he's throwing some shade to him and making fun of him, and you know that was bound to happen. I mean, that is gonna happen on this type of show. Like these guys want to ruin that show. Like I think some of these people that are trying to get this kind of power aren't listening to it, and I don't blame them for kind of clowning them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, you know, according to Motherboard, Spotify CEO Daniel Ek acknowledged that a total of 10 meetings have been held with various groups and individuals to hear their respective concerns. Ek additionally commented upon the specific Abigail Schreier guest spot. Joe Rogan and the episode in question have been reviewed extensively. The fact that we aren't changing our position doesn't mean we aren't listening. It just means we made a different judgment call. So one has to imagine that this is only the first sparks of a much bigger fire, and there will almost certainly be many more judgment calls to come. The fundamental question on my mind is how exactly Spotify, the platform and a publisher, will try to define its relationship to its own content and the extent to which it will take responsibility for it in the eyes of the audience, the public, and its own employees. I mean, here's the thing. This is what I don't get. If people are that offended by it, don't fucking listen to it. Turn it off. Turn it the fuck off. I mean, I remember having this thought when I was in early 2000s about Howard Stern, and people you don't have to turn on the radio station. So what you're in a sense trying to do is control what they're saying. Are they hurting anybody? Okay, you know, he felt like he might have been with misinformation, so he apologized for it. But he's going to have some off-color stuff. He's a comedian.
But not only is he a comedian, you look back at his track record, that's how he's gotten this far, is by being real, being truthful, not holding back when he has guests on the show. Again, you said it perfectly last time. It's exactly the same situation that Howard Stern was in, where he kept climbing the ranks in radio because of what he did, and then they tried to change him up to be something he wasn't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, controversy will create, you know, it's not even a huge controversy, but in the podcast world, like, that's the whole reason why that was born. So are you going to swallow up the podcast world and try to make it just like terrestrial radio? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Truthfully, I've said this before. I think that podcasting, if not just podcasting, but this form of entertainment where it's on demand, just like everything else, like Netflix, like Disney Plus, like Hulu, like people don't want to center their schedules around, you know, their entertainment and have to be at a certain place at a certain time to watch it. That goes for radio too, and that's where radio is going, is towards a more podcasted way of doing it, where it's pre-recorded and you can listen on your time when you're available. And it's not one of those things where, well, if you weren't listening to MMR or, you know, K-Rock or whatever city or state you're in, if you weren't listening to it at that time, you just missed it. Like it's not that way anymore. And I think that executives at radio stations or at internet radio stations are trying to figure out a way to monetize it to a radio format. That's my opinion.
It's just a rabbit hole that they're going to go down. I mean, listen, misinformation is bad, but I just don't think. Like Rush Limbaugh spouts out bullshit. That's his whole fucking shtick. And he's been doing it for years.
Right.
And he's a millionaire because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. Like, this isn't how. It's not going to work. Because at the end of the day, Joe, if Spotify doesn't want Joe on and they move away from each other, he's going to go right back on fucking YouTube. This dude doesn't need the money. He's already well off. I mean, I'm pretty sure he could use $100 million. And there's going to be a certain dollar per household ratio that's going to come into play here where he's like, it isn't worth it anymore. And I think he's going to dig in. And he hasn't really done anything crazy, but he's going to take some jabs at him. And you know what? There is a definite element out there of people that are too sensitive, and there's an element out there of people that are too insensitive, right? It's all over the place. It's one extreme way or another. But Joe is popular because he's always been sort of in the middle where people from other parts of, I guess, the view spectrum listen to Joe because he has people on from other parts of the view spectrum, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's why he's popular. And I will say that if you're bullshit, he won't have you on. He wouldn't let Trump come on or Joe. I know when the primary was coming on, there was only one candidate he allowed on, and that was Bernie Sanders. Everybody else, he was like, boop. And they all wanted to desperately be on.
Oh, absolutely, especially with his reach, and you get endorsed by somebody of his stature, you get his following almost instantly right behind you.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but our podcast is also now on Amazon Music as well, so you can ask Alexa to take it deep.
We're taking it deep in every orifice we can.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got that, and you got, our mush of the week. We're bringing that back.
Oh.
And don't worry, we will have our cuck of the week, and you guys are going to like this answer. But our mush of the week is the Tennessee Titans, perhaps. We're going to bring that back because they might have their game canceled because they were instructed by the NFL not to gather prior to informal workout, meaning they were having COVID outbreak issues. Now they have several positive tests. And they were told by the NFL on September 29th that in-person activities were prohibited. A league source confirmed to the Tennessean on Thursday. That refutes any speculation that the Titans were informed by the league not to gather or conduct group activities. Only after a group of Titans players met at a local private school on September 30th for an informal workout. So, basically, they had to work out. And, what I don't like about this is I'm not on a versus B side here when it comes to COVID, fake or not fake, whatever you think. I'm on I want the football games to be played guy at all costs. So when I see stupid shit like this, this is like, why? Why?
But this is the same thing where, you're going to have these
23 positive tests so far.
These ebb and flows because
but they're the only ones having the major issue is this one team.
Because they're I got nothing.
I think what they have to do is take away draft picks or a draft pick or levy a heavy fine, and people will take it seriously. That's why the coaches got fined for not wearing masks. And they should. And I'm not saying make people wear a mask. I'm just saying, if your goal is to get the season done successfully, and you should take every precaution available to
Absolutely.
you.
I mean, the people that are working through this, essential workers that are working through the pandemic, I mean, if they come down with COVID, they're not getting a paycheck for 2 to 3 weeks because they came down with COVID, and it's a very huge incentive to put your mask on, to not take it, lightly, because, with the way the American public handles their finances, most people work paycheck to paycheck, and 2 paychecks it means that you might be.
I want you
going
to
down a
pull
bad.
up a picture for the audience about what a mush is. I guarantee. I'm just curious.
You know what? I've been trying to pull up the mush pic, and I can't find. It's not there anymore.
Put mush. I want you to search mush Bronx Tale, and it will show up. I promise.
Okay, it wasn't.
Eddie
it's
Mush.
funny. This is the first time.
Eddie Mush and coffee cake. Put him in the fucking bathroom.
This is the first time I tried to find that friggin' picture in a while, and it didn't show up. I was very upset.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our cuck of the week because I got the pleasure of talking to one of our listeners, and thank you all that listen. There he is, Eddie Mush. There he is, waiting for that horse not to come in.
He just looks like a mush.
So the Titans are the mush of the week because of what's going on. That game might not even play.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And we'll get more into that as we get into the football picks. Uncle Pack just got your cuck of the week. Okay. It's the American public. And why are you guys the cuck of the week? Because all of you guys are masturbating in a corner over a fly on some guy's head for 3 minutes. And you guys were sitting there like cuckolds watching it like, oh, my God. Everybody was talking about this goddamn fly.
I'm sorry I have to address this. I don't like that Laura's yelling she needs a cuck of the week.
I hear you might be able to find some cucks at the local peep show.
I don't like that. That's
a lot
the
of
comment she makes in the chat room.
That's funny. Cuck of the week. So, with that being said, Mike's going to cue up the music, and once he does, we will get these NFL picks in. Uncle Pat got here, and, we'll go over a quick thing real quick. Last week wasn't my greatest. I got 7 right. Pat got 8 right, so this week he was the victor, and that brings the season total up 33, the Godfrey. 29 Uncle Pat. There's a lot of things that were just by a nut hair, a loss or a win. But, like I said, we're going to focus on some key games this week and talk about that. And then if, there's a game we didn't go over and you guys want to ask us about it, feel free to message us, THEEGODFREY, the Godfrey. And if you need to get a hold of Pat, he's on social media too. But if you want to ask Pat a question and you can't get a hold of him, get me and I'll get him for you. Payphone style. Be like, yo, Pat, there's someone on the phone for you. So
I'm in.
Pat, but before we start, and I'm going to look at it, you got to see Van Halen in concert, right?
3 times.
And you said Van Roth over Van Hagar all day?
I wouldn't say all day. I said that, yes, that's the original group, but the concert I saw with Sammy Hagar was rocking also. He was walking like 50 feet above our heads on like some sort of a girder playing guitar. It was.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you put Eddie Van Halen all time as far as guitarists? Top 5 guitarists?
Probably, yeah. Top 10.
Yeah.
There's some great guitarists that we don't even know their
How about
names.
rock? Let's just go rock.
Rock, something? I put them number 2 behind AC/DC.
Okay. Fair enough.
AC/DC was the noisiest. Van Halen was very noisy too. I really did enjoy those concerts when in the early '80s when I saw them. Then, Van Halen did a lot of talking. Both concerts I saw him with David Lee Roth.
Oh, David Lee Roth never shut the fuck up his whole life.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
And it's okay. That was the music that was Van Halen. But Sammy Hagar was rocking also. They put out a couple of great tunes, and it did give a different wrinkle to it completely changed the group.
All right, well, we're going to see if you guys want to run with the devil here and take some of these picks. We're going to jump right into it. Feet first. Tonight, we have a Super Bowl 52 rematch. Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, versus Tom Brady, who dropped it. This is in Chicago, and the Bears are underdogs by 2.5, I think 3.5 points at home. I just had it up. I'm going to put it up.
It is 3.5.
3.5. Total's 44.5. It jumped down from 45. Nothing to talk about there. I'm going to go with the Bears here. I'm going to take the points, but this is my money line pick of the week at plus 157, Chicago. I think the Buccaneers have a good defense. You can't run on them, but you can pass on them. I saw a rookie quarterback go into their home stadium and put up a lot of yards on them last week. It was the kid's 3rd start, and I think they haven't played a lot of good teams. You're not going to run on them. They got a good run defense. The pass defense been showing up, but Nick's streaky. So at a moment's notice, Big Dick Nick can get white hot like he's Super Gokan on Dragon Ball Z. Is that the right term there, Mike? When the hair turns white?
Sure.
Okay. Do you even know Dragon Ball Z?
No, I don't.
Oh, you look like a Pokemon Dragon Ball Z guy.
No way, shape, or form.
Okay. He's more of a World of Warcraft guy.
Leave Mike be, will you fuckface? Come on. I'm going
Thank you,
Chicago also. I mean, as much as I like to see what Tampa Bay does this year, I think those points that are given to Chicago are free. I think that's just because everybody's jerking their chains over Tom Brady. So I think that's always 3 points. I think Chicago's just as good a team, if not tonight, better team than Tampa Bay. They're home.
Gotcha.
They got a badass defense, and if you disrupt the timing on Tampa Bay's side, that's the game right there. Disrupt the timing, and the Chicago can definitely be disrupting. And I'm going to root for Nick. I mean,
Panthers Falcons.
Over
under is the total is 54 and -1.5. The
Yeah.
Falcons are favored at home. I'm going with the over.
Okay, I don't blame you. So Matt's going over. Okay, I'm going to go. This is like the toilet bowl of the week, but you tell me about it. I guess I'm going to go with Atlanta.
All right, Atlanta to get off the schneid and win. All right, you got
Vegas and Kansas City.
Vegas and Kansas City. We got an over under of 55. The money line of plus 459. Don't take that because the Raiders don't have a shot to win. I don't.
No, they don't.
I think I'm comfortable taking 11.5 points with the Chiefs.
So am I. I hate to agree with you, but yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs too.
Rams, Washington football team. The Los Angeles Rams are coming to Washington. There has been a quarterback change here. Kyle Allen, who came over with Ron Rivera from Carolina, is now the starting quarterback. I saw that coming a mile away. Don't be surprised if Alex Smith, who is now the backup, ends up coming in if Kyle Allen struggles. He has a penchant to throw interceptions in the red zone. They're plus 293. They're also getting Chase Young back. If it was at plus 9, I might go, the Washington football team. But now they got that jerk-off hook at 7.5.
I'm going with the Rams. I see this being a double-digit win.
I'm going to go with the Redskins in the points.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to go with the Redskins in the points here.
Next game is Jacksonville at Houston. Houston still got to prove something to me. I'm going with Jacksonville here just because Houston, who hasn't won a game yet, is given points.
Yeah, we're going to try to focus on games in note in the future, folks. And this is a game of note because they did fire their coach after starting at 0-4. Had a lot of tough opponents. This is my lock of the week. You can take this to the bank. The Houston Texans will cover at -6 and get the first win on the board. And Deshaun Watson is going to go crazy in this game.
So the next game would have been Buffalo and Tennessee, but it's not.
We don't know because of the mushes of the week, and they're the mushes, the Tennessee Titans, because they already missed one game because of COVID, and now they have tested positive 23 players after doing unauthorized workouts that the league told them not to do, and they were a fucking mush because now they're fucking shit up for everyone. You suck, Tennessee.
Yeah, although I like Tennessee.
Yeah, not right now. Next one we won't spend a lot of time on because both these teams haven't impressed me. Listen to this line, Pat. +1 the Cardinals were. Now they're -7. Sam Darnold's sitting because he's hurt. I don't think Sam Darnold and Joe Flacco are that big a goddamn difference, but okay. So you got -7 with Arizona. Man, this is a game I wouldn't touch.
For me.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. They got to cover by 7, though, man.
I don't think the Jets show up.
I think 47 is the total.
That's got to be an under if you're going anywhere, bud.
Oh, man. I hate games like this. I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Eagles Steelers, for my Birds fans, they did pull the upset off last week at +320 when it kicked off. It was +285, I think, on the show. I took the Eagles because I didn't see them winning by 7. I just couldn't responsibly tell you guys to bet the Eagles after how they've been showing, but they showed a little bit of life.
I did say that they were going to be a very good pick last week just because that's the way Philadelphia teams have been all of my life. They're going to disappoint you on the games they should win, and then they're going to win a game and get you sucked back in
They
again.
adjusted the play calling, and the 49ers were severely injured. Their third-string quarterback was in that game, so let's not overvalue it there, but it is a victory. I got it. The Steelers went from -1.5 to -7.5.
7.5. I'm
which
going
is
with
weird.
Philadelphia.
You're going with Philly with the points, huh?
How could you not?
I don't know, man. Are the Eagles going to be ready for this team? I mean,
who the fuck knows? But I mean, you got to choose somebody. So
yeah, I'll go with the Eagles and the points. I don't think they're going to win, but I'll go with the points.
So now you got Cincinnati at Baltimore. You know something? I don't know if you knew this, but there's somewhat of a knee injury going on for Jackson. So just keep that in mind. That even if he does play, he might not be as mobile as he has been, and also his throwing. I saw anything over 20 yards last week. He was missing them by a mile.
I'm going to go with the points
and he's my
and the
favorite
Bengals.
guy.
I'm going with the point only because they covered last week on a team where the guy got benched the next week forever, Dwayne Haskins, and they did cover by half a point. I did take him at 13.5, but when you get into double-digit spreads, the butt cheeks get tight, and I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, me too. Who did you take in the Philly-Pittsburgh game, bud?
I took the Eagles with the points.
All right.
That's 7.5. Dolphins, 49ers.
So I'm going Cincinnati also.
Yeah. The 49ers are favored by 9, and I say I'm locking that in. Total's 51.5.
Hey. Isn't that the guy with the beard? Fitzmagic still play for Miami?
Yeah, but he'll give you a good week and then completely shit the bed the next week.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going with Miami. It's a lot of points.
Yeah.
You want San Francisco.
His magic is on the level of a $10 magician at a kid's birthday party.
All right.
Broncos Patriots, we don't have any information on right now because I think their practice facility's been closed. Maybe that game gets postponed as well because Stephen Gilmore, their best defensive player and cornerback, has tested positive. Cam Newton, I don't think has been cleared yet off the positive list, so I don't know what's going on with that. But if you're going to ask me who's going to win it in New England, if it's the only information we have is -5,
right?
I'm going to take New England.
So am I.
We'll give you guys an update pick on the page if that changes, just like we did. Me and Pat both changed our picks to Kansas City once we figured out that Cam Newton got COVID-19. We still lock it in at 6.5 and went to 12.5, and they still covered. So, Giants Cowboys. This is the toilet bowl game of the week, in my opinion. You might say, because I'm an Eagles fan, I'm biased, and you would be right. But I don't really think so because the Cowboys have a historically bad defense.
I'm going with the Giants.
You're going with the Giants. I mean, the Giants aren't. Woo.
Got to go with somebody.
Man.
Dallas ain't shown me nothing with 3 losses. That's a lot of points for a team that's been giving up a lot of points.
7.5 to 9, and they stayed at 54. You're going with the Giants to cover, not win outright.
Oh, absolutely, to cover. I don't know if Giants are going to win but 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even know what they are. I'm just assuming they can win 1 every 8 games, 12.5% of their games.
All right. So I think that the Giants aren't going to win, but at +9, I'm going to... I mean, the Giants are banged up. I hate this game. I don't even want to touch this game. I'm going to take the over at 54.
Got it. Minnesota playing to Seattle. Seattle's -7 at home against Minnesota.
56.5.
Yeah.
Give me -7, Seattle.
Okay.
The Vikings on the road. Yeah, give me -7, Seattle.
I'm going over.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. Colts Browns.
Hold on. Okay, you're right. Colts Browns. Right.
-1. The Colts were favored right now. They were +2 before, and they're on the road. I'm going Browns.
So am I.
Lock it in. And if you want to avoid the juice, you just bet the money line of -101. And it's pretty much the same goddamn
103
thing.
now.
103, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting game. They did lose Nick Chubb, but their offensive line is running over. And they had over 300 yards rushing last week. They're averaging over 5 yards a carry. They're running the ball on everybody. They had trouble with the Ravens the first week, which I had them losing that game going into the season. But they lost Nick Chubb, but they got Kareem Hunt as a backup, and they got another guy named Ernest D. Johnson. I think the Colts have an excellent defense. I do think, however, it will be a lower scoring game. I wouldn't be afraid to take the under on this too.
Yeah, 46.5.
But I'm taking. If you're going to give me the Browns, who are on a 3-game win streak, So are the Colts on a 3-game streak and on the road. I'm going with the Browns because the Browns don't have a good secondary, but they are getting to the quarterback. So
that ought to be a good game to watch.
I think so. It's 4:25 game, nationally televised game. When's the last time the Browns had one of those? I mean, on a Sunday. We got Chargers, Saints. 51 is the total. The Saints are favored by 7.5. Not a lot of line movement here.
I like the Chargers here. New Orleans still got to show me something.
Yeah, man, this is one of those games, too. New Orleans, they won last week on the road. They're back home. They're tougher to play at home. They always have been. Although the Chargers just went in there and just did them. I got to go with the Saints here. I think they rebound. I'm going to go with the Saints at -7.5. Although, the Saints are having trouble with the tight end. Let's go over here. I'm going to go with the over. I'm changing my mind. A lot of overs have been hitting. Eventually, that trend's going to come back the other way, and you're going to see a lot of unders start to hit. I mean, I got really fooled by the over on that Seahawks game by 0.5 point. So, it's just, I agree 100%. The Saints got to show you something, but they are getting Michael Thomas back. So, they're getting their best player back. And last week, they did come back from a 14-0 deficit in Detroit. So they're not completely dead, and I think they'll win it. I don't know if they'll cover by 7.5, but I would take the over there. I wouldn't be afraid of that either. You might get some turnovers from a rookie quarterback. That always produces instant 7 points you weren't expecting for the over, and then you're fucked if you bet the under. When that happens, you might as well throw the betting ticket out the window at that point.
Bet with your head, not over it. And remember, 2 games in a row in the dictionary is a streak. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, if you asked me for a parlay, I would give you, one that I think is a safe one. I think you can take the Chiefs with the points. I think, me
Safe,
personally,
huh?
safe, yeah. Nothing's ever safe. Injuries happen. I would take the Browns and the Chiefs with the points. If you want to do a 2-teamer, if you want to get funky, because once you get above 2 teams, I think the
odds just surmount.
Yeah, and
anything over a 2-team parlay is
tough. The 5-team parlay gets even tougher. Everybody likes doing the 5-teamer because you cheap asses want to bet $15 and get if you came up off your pennies and put 50 in on a 2-teamer, you make almost just the same amount of money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So don't be cheap. Don't be that guy that puts in 10 picks on a $10 fucking parlay.
Well, you know something? I'll give you this. If you want to put in a parlay, bet a Thursday night game. Now, there's no college, but if there was, you would bet a college, then you would bet 2 on Sunday and leave your last one for Monday night. Because if you got the first 4, you can just bet half the money the other direction and walk away with the win.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to twist my arm and you're like, Matt, give me a 3-teamer, I'm going to give you the over on the Panthers-Falcons. I'm going to give you the Chiefs covering. And I'm going to give you the 3rd game. I'm trying to cherry pick it here. And I'm going to give you the Niners to cover.
All right, I'm going to give you Chicago, Philadelphia, and Arizona.
Yeah. There you go. So, money line pick of the week, I say go with Chicago tonight. I think they're the pick to have. And I think Chicago, there's other money line picks, but that's the best one to me for return on the dollar. And
yeah, too much risk on the other ones where it just doesn't look favorable.
Yeah, I mean, plus 480 for the Bengals looks nice, but it's not happening. They just don't have a defense unless Lamar Jackson gets hurt. And,
he's going to be a little slower. Again, a knee injury is a knee injury. That's why he didn't play the last 4 minutes of the game last week. It wasn't because...
Well, they got a lot of running backs in the stable, too.
And don't get me wrong, RG3 is an excellent, probably the best backup quarterback in the league. Yeah. I said it.
I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. I'm just trying to catalog through my head backup quarterbacks.
I'm saying listen, and for many reasons. I'll give you 2. He's an excellent player, and also he fits in with the scheme of that team perfectly. The RPO movement, he's ready to step in if need be. And when I saw him come in off the bench, he looked crisp. He looked happy to be there. He's a very good backup.
Nice. Well, folks, that is it for today. We got our picks in. We got to talk about fly shitting on people's heads. And it was a fun time. So, thanks for coming in for our lightning round. And thanks for, letting us have fun for you. And this is the Godfrey. Not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.